Let's turn that music off. There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. It's been a couple weeks. We're back here talking high school sports. It's been a crazy couple weeks. Last time we were here was before boys regional weekend, and now this weekend's already boys state. So
Time flies when you're having fun.
yeah, time flies, and winter sports end up wrapping up this weekend. Got a couple things to talk about today. We'll first start with the girls basketball recap. This state tournaments in Green Bay. We just had a big thunderstorm, right?
And just
There
a
we
little
go
bit of
again.
rumble right now.
Yeah, we just had a big thunder strike right before we went on. So
The opposite of what's going on with all the up north people right now.
Yeah. So 20 seconds ago, there must have been some. It was like
Right before we went on air. There was a big boom.
It sounded like something exploded.
It sounded like an earthquake. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So let's move on here now. Nothing. Good afternoon, Eli says on Instagram. So girls basketball tournament recap. Let me pull this up on my phone because last night I was talking to a couple parents I knew. They had kids at Wisconsin Lutheran. I could not remember the fourth. I could not remember the fourth team in the state tournament for boys, and it was Wanakee that was missing. And they were like, "It's Appleton something, right?" I'm like, "Yeah."
So the D1 field is Marshfield, Wanakee, Wisconsin
Wanakee's the one I
Lutheran, and Oshkosh North. How could I forget?
All right, so we'll start out Division 5. Assumption won the state championship, 34-30 win over Barneveld. In Division 5, they took down Owen Withy on Friday morning to win that, and then Barneveld took down Laurie's Academy. Meanwhile, Division 4, a lot of people money was on the Prairie School. They didn't get it done, so it was Cuba City that won a state championship over St. Mary Catholic, 53-50. And then Cuba City beat the Prairie School, which was one of our local teams. And then St. Mary Catholic beat Durand, Arkansas. I think that's how you say it. Division 3, it was Oostburg winning the state championship, 49-38 over Xavier, Appleton Xavier. Xavier defeated number 1 Elk Mound, 45-35. Oostburg 66-57 over Laconia. That's Oostburg's run right through Laconia and Xavier. Division 2. Undefeated, one loss. Edgewood did not take the state championship. It was Wauwatosa East. They took down Edgewood in 3 overtimes on Saturday evening, 59-58. Boy, I'll tell you that the struggles must have been there though, because that final shot when Edgewood put it in, I said to myself, I'm like, that's going in, and nope, it missed. I'm like,
well, I knew you picked the team that lost, but I picked the team that won that game. So
yeah, so
respect to Tosa East on that pick.
So Wauwatosa, no, you can do. You can hang me in the middle of Mayfair Mall and throw eggs at me and say, okay, you didn't pick us to win.
We were talking about that game too before the season,
Yeah.
right? We were like, not before the season, right when we did our Zaleski Sports like bracket projection or like the whatever the contest we were doing with our coworkers and all that too. But it was you picked Edgewood to win it all. And
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
They were rolling, and obviously
Tosa West got a really good squad. I don't know, man. Ellie Dupre, Micaiah Litza,
so
coached by Mary Merck.
Tosa East, their only loss was on the network. So I'm like, well, we're not going to go anywhere near them this weekend. I don't want to do anything, which we didn't. We stayed away, and they won the state championship. So that's Division 2. And then Division 1, Kimberly beat Appleton East, and then Muskego beat Arrowhead. We were at the first Muskego versus Arrowhead game, which Muskego won. Not state we weren't. We were there the first time they met in the regular season. We had the game on the network. But Kimberly ended up beating Muskego in a very cold shooting game from the Warriors in the state championship.
They even started off cold against Arrowhead too at first.
Yeah,
it was a really close game, but I think one of the big things why they ended up losing that game was because of Natalie Cuso was pretty cold that game.
Yeah. So that's kind of how it looks on the girls' side of things this past weekend over at the Rush Center. There were some interesting things that went down there. All right. I'm on the boys. So let me get the boys up so I don't forget any team names like I did last night. I couldn't remember Wanakee at first. I was sitting there. I'm like, who made it? I'm like, it's not somebody that normally makes it. And then I was sitting there. I'm like, it's not. Somebody goes, it's Appleton North. I'm like, Appleton North didn't make it. Thinking to myself, I'm like, who is it? And then I looked up. It's Wanakee. I'm like,
he probably thought Appleton North was Oshkosh North.
So heading to Division 5 now. This is 9:05 on Friday morning. It'll be Cochrane Fountain City against Turtle Lake. Quite a name there. Sheboygan Lutheran versus Abundant Life. What a story for Abundant Life to be able to get back to state. Imagine all the things the players went through, especially back in December. That was something. 11:05 Saturday, March 22nd is when the state championship is for Division 5. We will not be at the Kohl Center this weekend, but we will be probably online Saturday night watching March Madness and watching the state championships aside. We'll do
Kind of do
show.
what we did last
Yeah,
year.
we'll do
but
a show for Division 2
I
and
think
1.
we did back-to-back days
Yeah,
last year.
we're just going to do
Kinda
Saturday
one day.
night this year. We'll do the Division 2 state championship and the Division 1. Although if Wisconsin Lutheran loses, I don't know if we'll do Division 1. But
Yeah, pardon me too. If Wisconsin makes it on Saturday and they're playing at the same time as the D2 game, you might hear me cheering for other things too. So
yeah, don't worry, we're not rooting.
apologize in advance to you guys for that if that's the case.
Yeah, we're not going to be rooting for any teams at state. We can't do that.
First, we got to get past Montana though.
Yeah. I hope they don't struggle with that tomorrow. Thursday, March 20th, it'll be tomorrow evening. It'll be Bonduel versus the Prairie School. The Prairie School, 14-15, and they made it to state.
Amazing season, head coached by
Jason?
Jason Atanasoff.
There you go.
Almost said Jason Benetti. That's the announcer. I was like,
Well, the funny thing is Todd Clark. I went back and watched the video. He had a hard time saying the last name.
and Jason Atanasoff, the athletic director at the Prairie School as well, leading a big Cinderella story run for one of the biggest teams we've seen in a Cinderella story run this year.
Yeah, so Mineral Point and Aquinas will take on after that. 27-1 Mineral Point.
I didn't think I picked the Prairie School.
Well, I didn't. I know that.
Yeah, I didn't.
But they went on. I talked about early in the year. I said, you know what? They don't have to face any Metro Classic teams in Division 4. I said, there might be a chance they can get there because they played such tough competition
I
all
think
year.
they get all the bragging rights in that Metro Classic Conference too, because believe it or not, they're the only team in the state tournament.
Mike McGivern was on the call Sunday night with. He asked Jason, just playing through the Metro Classic, it's definitely one of the toughest conferences. You got Bowler Sheem over there at Martin Luther. You got Showalter at Dominican. You got
Ryan Thompson.
you got Tony Main over at St. Thomas More. He goes, you got all these great coaches in that conference. How do you get through it? It's like, yeah, because St. Thomas More won it last year. I mean, the Prairie School, you never know. I mean, Jason Atanasoff, he told us, he basically told the guys. He said, I saw that comment too. He says. He basically told me, he goes, we didn't know what to expect this year. He goes, we lost a player to the Travion Fenderson. He went to the prep school in Wisconsin committee. He goes, we didn't know what our future is going to hold. We're going to have a lot of young guys, but to get to state, that's something. I remember him using that quote, and that was really a remarkable run by the Prairie School. Meanwhile, in Division 3, one of the shocking seeds that we thought, Milwaukee Academy of Science gets the 2 seed at state. Freedom gets the 1 seed. They'll face Elk Mound at 1:35 on Thursday, and then Milwaukee Academy of Science will face Lake Mills. Milwaukee Academy of Science, I think, gets the 2 seed because of the formula. So MAS played like 4 or 5 teams out of state this year. So that game against Warren Township, who had a really good record. Warren Township actually ended up going to the state championship in Illinois.
They win or lose.
They lost by 1 point. But what happened?
Good research.
I remember looking up because I'm like, wow, they actually went that far. So I looked it up. I'm like, oh, they lost by 1 point, but still. So in the WIA's book, Warren Township winning is a 500 record. At the time they played MAS, I think they were like 16-7 because I remember saying to myself, boy, they gave MAS a fight for being 16-7. But in Illinois, it doesn't matter. Your record, I mean, that prospect team gave Slinger a draw their money. The Mount
I
Prospect.
think one of the only things they really do different in Illinois compared to here is that they play quarters, right?
Yeah.
Instead of, and they don't have a shot clock just yet, but they will be getting it in a couple of years, right?
Ultimately, I think that's why Warren Township lost that game because they're not used to playing halves like that. I think that's why they ultimately lost that game because they're not used to running.
I do think in the WIA they used to play quarters.
Yeah, they did.
Before.
Yeah, they did. So Lake Mills with MAS, that's 15 minutes after Freedom Elk Mound on Thursday, and the winner of that game will go to the state championship. That will be at like probably 1:30 on Saturday, right around there. No, actually, I lied. That'll be at like 3.
If I were to predict it, I do think it's going to be Freedom versus Milwaukee Academy of Science in that final game on D3 on Saturday, and that's going to be a game I'm going to be paying really close attention to. I have a really close friend here. I'll even shout him out right now if he's in here or not. Lucas Cropsey, one of his Freedom Irish back in that state tournament again. Yeah, he told me too. Their coach there is in his first year as well. So
really? Let's find out.
It's very interesting. I don't think he's in the chat right now, but
no, he's not. Okay. Division 2, Wauwatosa West, Wausau East. That's the second game. Wauwatosa West we found pretty well. They'll be on the Zaleski Sports Radio actually too. And then Racine Park versus Cedarburg. Racine Park, we saw them on Saturday. They completed their run. And Casey Robbins, you could just tell. Just a couple of years in.
Third year as the head coach of their team. And I asked him last Saturday, how does it feel to be in this moment I know I knew that he was going to be dreaming about that moment for a long time, and he was just extremely blessed about it, getting another crack at their first chance of going to state since 1960.
And we know he watches the show.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
Sorry
his-
about that. He got my pick wrong. Obviously, he didn't pick Racine Park, but I mean, Greenfield, they're a really great squad too that they had this year. But
Yeah.
I think Racine Park's going to be a team to watch still for the next couple of years. They're losing Jackson Moss, Isaiah Robinson. They have a lot of seniors on the team. I'll just put it straightforward.
Yeah.
But then you got guys still like Zari Gwynn, and I think one of the other Becker brothers is still on the team because they're not twins. I think it's Cole that's still going to be there, but they got a lot of depth.
I think it was Isaiah Robinson. I just saw the SEC All Conference come out today, and
He's the player of the year.
the defensive player.
Yeah.
He got both.
That's
So,
why I said that. I mean, he's all around. So
yeah.
the crazier thing is though,
What?
I don't even think he had 5 points in that game on Saturday, and
Wow.
they still won by like 40.
So Division One now, it's Wisconsin Lutheran versus Oshkosh North at 6:35 p.m. Oshkosh North on that story run as well, 19-9. They were barely 500 when we saw them in December. They were just.
Wait, what was that?
Remember, we saw Oshkosh North in December. They were barely 500,
Yeah,
but now they're 19-9.
they had a little bit of struggle too against Arrowhead, huh?
Yeah, and then
Remember
Wanakee
that.
against Marshfield. That's 15 minutes after. But I'm putting Wisconsin Lutheran and Wanakee in the state championship. I think there, and I think Wisconsin Lutheran will ultimately take it. I was talking to a couple of Wisconsin Lutheran parents last night, and they said, we like our chances again.
Leave. Jason Zaleski's Marshfield Tigers, they're probably going to be on the radio too at Zaleski, right? That's another. Not a lot of broadcasts though, but it'll be on TV though still too. So I think that the state championship is going to be Wisconsin Lutheran against Wanakee too.
If the TV doesn't freeze up, remember football? I remember I'm setting.
Although what my interesting thought is,
what?
was the closest opponent that Wisconsin Lutheran played against in the playoffs, I think it was Oak Creek.
Yeah, it probably was.
I mean, they were like actually playing neck and neck with them.
that was.
I still feel like we can't sleep on Eric Howell's team too much though, because he had a good game plan.
Yeah,
And
they did some good things this past year.
I mean, going to the sectionals for the first time since 1996. You saw that? You saw that too? I was like, I thought I saw a flicker. So if we go out on Wi-Fi, folks, the thunderstorms are going on too. So.
Yeah. So other than snow, but
I'll take it.
It's flicking though. We're getting there. So yeah, coming up this weekend, I'm just excited to see who wins the state tournament. I think on Friday might be a little bit tougher to watch it because we got March Madness going on in town. Thursday ultimately starts. Thursday's when the Badgers play. So you know what? We got some time here. Let's talk about the Wisconsin Badgers one. And Marquette.
In this show too, we could occasionally talk about Wisconsin sports. Remember our first ever show? We talked about the Middleton trade.
And just keep in mind though, there's not much to talk about Marquette. They'll probably lose on Friday, just considering what's been going on with them recently. I'll just get to them first. It's unfortunate for their sake. It just seems like they can't beat any good teams this year.
I know, like last Saturday, I was talking with when your dad was at the sectional game too. We were talking about how Marquette, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about how they don't have a big man. So Ben Gold. I mean, he's obviously pretty decent, but. And then I think the big thing that's keeping them alive is Cam Jones, who's a second-team All-American. And who they play tomorrow or Friday? I think it's New Mexico State.
It's New Mexico, yeah. Which they heard they're really fast team. So
I mean, Marquette's fast too.
Yeah.
I just felt like I'll be blatantly honest. Marquette doesn't have a defense.
Well, let's be honest though. Let's hope this Montana team is not James Madison.
Woo.
What?
They're a 14th seed. Yeah.
Oh, really?
What do you think? I was talking about something else.
They're talking about outside.
No.
I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, we're under a tornado warning.
Yeah, don't give me that news.
Imagine.
I've driven in a tornado warning before. It wasn't fun last year.
It's windy outside too.
Oh, that should be interesting. That's all I gotta say. What happens tonight? It's supposed to change the snow at some point.
Yeah, ask you though. Who's your pick to win it all March Madness? Just name your one team.
Oh, I gotta look at that more. Boy, that's tough.
Obviously, if
St. John's is playing some pretty good basketball right
being
now.
very biased,
Yeah.
Marquette versus Wisconsin in the championship game.
Well then,
if I'm being realistic though,
yeah,
I'm going. It's gonna be. I feel like this year it's gonna be one of the 1 or 2 seeds that does it.
yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Well, At least if Wisconsin and Marquette face each other in the championship game, I have nothing.
Yeah.
At least I can't wake up depressed the next
Well, I
morning.
mean, for me, I grew up more of a Wisconsin fan still because my mom went there, and like Marquette's kind of like off to the side a little bit. But I don't have any gear at Marquette's either, which is like interesting.
So
thing.
those two played in the
But I'll
national.
root for them
Yeah.
still. I
These
mean,
two played the national championship. I just sit back like I did in the regular season when they played. Okay,
Yeah.
whoever wins.
got a lot of family ties there, so that's why I got a little bit more of an edge for Wisconsin than Marquette.
You know, they had that shirt I've been looking to buy. It's got half Marquette on one side, half Wisconsin. They wear it. There's people that wear it to that game too. I gotta get that shirt and wear it today.
Sure, there's someone that doesn't love Wisconsin either.
Oh yeah, there's tons of people
that go to
Yeah,
Marquette.
there's tons of people that hate Marquette or they
If
hate
you know, you
Wisconsin.
know.
Yeah. So, and during football season, what do you do? Because obviously, Marquette doesn't have a football team, but
Although-
Wisconsin does.
Do you think the people up north too just root for Wisconsin?
Yeah,
though?
more
Like,
so. Yeah.
like more of the Marquette people are down here in the Milwaukee area.
I root for PJ Fleck and the Minnesota Gophers. That's what
No.
they would say. No.
That's the last thing I want to root for.
Yeah. Somebody goes, "How far do you think Green Bay's women's would go in the tournament?" Ooh,
Ooh,
please beat Alabama. That would be pretty funny. I cannot stand Alabama.
That's actually kind of cool how they
Yeah.
got the 12 seed too, winning the Rising League with ease. I think there's a couple of high school girls basketball standouts from Wisconsin that are on that team as well.
Yeah, probably.
It's the funny thing. Who was that? Sports Wisconsin that said that.
Yeah, I think so.
I think the Green Bay women's team is the exact opposite of what the men's team is, like literally too.
Yeah, the men's team.
Because the
was-
girls' team's so good, and then you got the men's team at the way bottom.
Yeah, the men's team was, just a bit of probably just a little bit of a struggle.
I want to hear your honest thoughts about this too. Do you think Green Bay's going to roll with Gottlieb another year?
I don't know how you can. That was pretty bad. I mean,
To be able to balance doing a talk show like what we're doing right now
Oh,
and coaching at the
yeah.
same time.
So here I'm dug out. So I just got done practicing. Oh, okay. All right, now we're on the air for the radio. That's every day. That was every day of his life.
I see people on Twitter
Yeah.
every time we post something about like any other March Madness game,
Yeah.
like saying like this is March about that use that 16 seed game as an example. He tweets something like March Madness for you folks,
Yeah.
and everyone in his comments were going, "You should be here right now. You're not you would be here right now if you weren't doing your talk show."
Yeah, I guess that's true. All right, one last thing for today. We'll just touch on spring sports a little bit. So track? Track just started, right?
Yep.
Soccer, I think softball started this week.
She got a family member that's on the track team at Oak Creek this year. It's my sister. I'm gonna be going to a lot of meets this
Well,
year.
Well, if she makes the state championship, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, if she goes to the state, I get to go then too. I mean, I get to go for free because you know what they do.
What?
I know this from previous experiences of me going to. I mean, I didn't go to state. I wasn't that good. I was a shot put and discus thrower. But if you go to state,
Yeah.
they pay for your hotel. I mean, it's because you know how at
Jeez,
state.
let me reclass.
It's like your individual events and track, right?
Yeah.
So you once you get there, you and your family get your own room.
Yeah.
So it's like a fun thing.
Softball. Let me look up and see if there's any softball rankings out to start the year.
No, but you said baseball. They
Yeah.
just started yesterday, right? Or
I'll read baseballs.
did they have tryouts already or
Tryout starts next week for baseball.
spring break?
All right, so I'll read baseball's top rankings. I started to see they'll just go top 10 from the baseball yearbook. So Division 1 for baseball, number 1 Muskego, number 2 Monona Grove, number 3 Westosha Central, number 4 De Pere, number 5 Kenosha Indian Trail, number 6 Heartland Arrowhead. I don't want to be that person. Number 7 Kimberly, number 8 Union Grove, number 9 Bayport, and number 10 Menominee Falls. Jacob Page's Warriors, and you got Westosha in there. You got Lane Oaks' Kenosha Indian Trailhawks who are on the rise. You got Nick Brengaz's Arrowhead Warhawks, Ryan McGinnis's Kimberly Papermakers, and you go round it out with Tim Gotzler's Menominee Falls Phoenix. And then in Division 2, it goes Pewaukee, Aquinas, Edgewood, Kiel, Prescott, Reedsburg, Whitnall, Kellamrain Lutheran, Altoona, and Mount Horeb. These are all per the Wisconsin Baseball Coaches Association yearbook. In the Division 3, it's Kenosha St. Joe's, Kewanee, Lake Country Lutheran, Stratford, Columbus, Elmira, Cedar Grove, Belgium, Brillion, Elk Mound, and Partyville. And finally, in Division 4, it's Blair Taylor, Belmont, Pittsville, Ithaca, Pacelli, Northwood Solon, Gibraltar, Washington, Johnson Creek, Seneca, and Rib Lake. For girls softball, let's see if I can find something on here real quick. See if we got any rankings. Otherwise, I'll just throw out random teams who I think are going to be good. That's a tough one. My knowledge obviously comes more in baseball, but we'll figure it out here. Let's see. Oh, here's rankings. Is this rankings? Well, this is from a year ago. This could not have been last year. Oh, this is 2018.
Holy cow!
I was like,
I was almost in elementary school.
I was
back
gonna say
then.
because where's Kakana on here? Oshkosh North was 25-1 in 2018. I'm like, where's Kakana? They only lost one game.
Kakana's got a good squad too.
Well, I'm sure they do.
They're like, almost feel like they're like an arrowhead of a team in that Fox Valley area.
Yeah, they're Kakana's just a really good school at a lot of things this year. Obviously, they've won 4 state championships in a row for wrestling now.
They just couldn't get off the hump though.
And then what's the other one though? One school that's got a good chance to go to state baseball is Muskego. Obviously, Muskego hasn't had the best luck in the state championship games this year, losing in football and girls basketball last weekend. But they've been able to get there, which is impressive, first of all. But I think baseball's the one they might win because they got a good squad over there at Muskego this year in baseball. And we had them on last year one time against Franklin. We'll probably see them again at least one more time this year. But that's a good team over there. Menominee Falls is always good. Even Oak Creek still put in that rankings. Franklin, a lot of our area teams are still in those rankings, and they'll still be powerful on that baseball field. But Kenosha Indian Trail, that's going to be a good baseball team this year. I mean, they got a couple kids that are going to be a little.
They just got a lot of depth.
Yeah, they got a lot of depth. And even last year they were talking about, they said, hey, because they were in the sectional final last year, and Oak Creek was just on their elite level last year. But
I think that senior class for Oak Creek last year was one of the big reasons.
yeah. And then looking at the Southeast, Tremper is always pretty good too.
Ethan Bauerschmidt.
Yeah, they got that Penn.
Top that 90+.
They still got Mr. Penn State over there. So they got a lot of things going on over there at Tremper. So there'll be exciting things. And Greater Metro is always pretty good. I think Brookfield Central, from what the principal told us, they have 3 D1 pitchers. Brett Grutzmacher told us that after the last basketball game we were there. So they got something going there too. I think they might even make a chance of getting in the rankings this year too. Menominee Falls always.
This is spring.
Yeah. Sussex Hamilton, a lot better of a baseball team the last couple of years. They'll be in the rank. They're already in the rankings.
I think something I'll say here right now too is that we'll probably try to get a couple girls or softball games on too this season.
So we're gonna have to start on see who's good. I know last year Kenosha Bradford obviously won the state championship.
We might have to get like a Franklin versus Bradford on at some point.
Yeah.
That seems like a pretty good matchup. Franklin's got a pretty good squad as well.
Yeah, they're always pretty good there every year too.
Franklin's baseball and softball teams. Yeah, they're around.
Yeah, it's going to be a good spring over there at Franklin. Just like at trying to think where else it's going to be a good spring.
You get to see our favorite highlight house guy in baseball for Franklin.
Kimberly's, I think, got a good softball team too, and they always got a good that baseball team over there is always dynamite. But what do you notice every time we do Kimberly baseball? Something always breaks down.
Yeah,
we can't do it twice last year. We had Kimberly scheduled. One time
maybe we just have to stick away from it.
The computer overheated the second time, and the first time the Wi-Fi wasn't strong enough from upstairs. But we're actually having Kimberly on at the Milkman Stadium this year against Monona Grove. So the Milkman Stadium has always had good Wi-Fi. Let's just pray that it's still the same way this year.
Only one can hope.
Just put those hands together and say, please, Wi-Fi, stay
But
on.
we're excited for the next couple months of baseball season after we finish up the state basketball tournament this weekend.
Yeah, I'll put an announcement.
Baseball and softball. Yeah.
Here's what I'm going to do. We already know where we're going for week 1 for baseball. Right after the state basketball tournament ends is when the tweet goes out. This is where we're going for baseball. So
I'll give you a hint. It's kind of close to where we are right now, but I don't think nobody knows
where.
Yeah,
I said Kenosha County. So keep in Kenosha County, friends. Your team might be on April 1st.
It's a good matchup too.
Yeah, it's top 10. So you go through the top 10 teams and look up who I read off the top 10 listing for baseball in Division 1. And you'd be like, oh, okay.
It's hard to already believe though that we're this far in.
Somebody asked who's MAS playing. They were playing Lake Mills. We'll just scoop back to basketball real quick. They're playing Lake Mills on Thursday.
Put any comments in the chat. We could probably roam around it for a bit here. Just stick around here if you guys have any big comments that you need regarding the basketball tournament. Nothing
yet.
All right.
Everybody's sitting up. Everybody's sitting over there all quiet. So come on, get at.
Our show is not going to be super long today. We didn't
No.
have too much planned.
And next week, no show. 2 weeks from now, we'll be back we'll talk baseball in 2 weeks.
Spring break for us next week,
Yeah.
so it's going to be our break off
Yeah.
too.
We'll talk about baseball in 2 weeks and softball. The softball will be under the way.
L baseball.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen,
Hit that 30-minute mark. Yep.
we hit that 30-minute mark. Otherwise, this weekend, boys basketball. It'll be interesting to see who wins it all this weekend. Good luck to all the teams, and spring sports will be thriving when we're back in 2 weeks. Otherwise, have a good 2 weeks, and we'll see you soon.
Watch March Madness.
Yeah, you got to watch that too.
Yep.